Yep, keep going live. You're good. Do you have a big, hairy idea you're trying to bring to the world? Then keep on watching because our guest is sharing her roadmap for a seriously big, built to last, hairy, audacious idea that will change the face of the biotech industry. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Startup Life Show. I'm your host, Ande Lyons, startup coach to first-time founders. And after raising 4 businesses of my own, I now help newly minted business owners sleep through the night. That's right, using my Andelicious strategies, solutions, insights, and inspiration, these founders are building profitable and sustainable businesses without spending a fortune or wasting valuable time. And we are streaming live right now on LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch, thanks to the oh-so-delicious platform StreamYard. And I am delighted you carved out time to tune up your founder game. Those of you tuning in live, please introduce yourselves in the comment thread. Let folks know where you're hailing from and share your business name and website with each other. Use this opportunity to expand your network because after all, this is a non-line networking event. Connect with each other on LinkedIn and follow each other on social media. You never know where the next collaboration will come from. And if you know someone who would benefit from our conversation, please share this live stream link on your social media feed so other folks can join you and us. Thank you. Because the theme for the Startup Life Show is a problem shared is a problem halved. And I am just going to say hi to it, see how folks are doing here. Excellent. Yay, yay, yay. So, the thing and the exciting thing about going live, folks, is that sometimes you get these little messages as you're going live, like, oops, this isn't working, that isn't working. So anybody in the comment threads, if you can make sure that you can hear me, just put a thumbs up and a high five. I just want to make sure the streaming is working properly today. Thank you. So I'm going to take care of that. Remove. Okay. And yeah, just getting some messages from the platform here. And all of you know what that's like, right? So again, give me a high five, a thumbs up to make sure that we're streaming properly right here and right now. Thank you. Today, we have the fabulous female founder, Tia Lyles-Williams, joining us. And her vision is to lower the costs for biotherapeutic drugs, reduce the time to market, and provide high-quality employment opportunities for underserved communities. And her startup vision includes a 60,000 square foot co-manufacturing and developing bioprocessing facility. What? Who does that? As an African-American woman and member of the LGBTQ community, Tia is the first to own and lead a biotech biopharmaceutical manufacturing company. She blows my mind all the time. I love her. She makes me laugh. She keeps my spirits up. I know you will enjoy our conversation today. Please join me in giving a big, hearty round of applause to this phenomenal woman. It's Tia Lyles-Williams.
Good morning, everybody. What's going on? I'm glad to be here. Thank you for that warm welcome, Ande. I'm super excited and honored to be interviewed on your platform, Startup Life.
Oh, we're so grateful to have you here. By listening to other founders' stories, and this to be true for you as well, Tia, you learn, right? You hear about how did they figure out their value prop? How did they come up with that revenue model? Did it work? How are they raising money to do what they're doing? All of those things. And also, how are they getting through the night? Because, we're managing so many different aspects of our business every day, right?
Exactly.
And it's a lot. So, of course, I'm fascinated by your background because I need to know, how did you come up with this idea? What were you doing when that stray cat came to your door and wouldn't leave until you opened it up? What compelled you to launch this type of business in this type of industry? Share with those who are watching.
Yes. So to give you a bit of background, I've been working in this industry for nearly 20 years. I got my undergraduate degree from Howard University. From there, I had an internship with the federal government that turned into a job at Walter Reed Army Institute of Research in Silver Spring, Maryland. And then from there, I went corporate to my first biotech job at Human Genome Sciences in Rockville, Maryland. At that point, when I got there, I'll be honest with you, I really didn't like it. I was used to working on a benchtop lab, working on my own schedule, doing what I wanted to do on my own time. Getting into manufacturing was a bit of a change and learning curve for me to work in a team-like setting, to answer to all these different types of supervisors in different groups. And so as I got into it and started to enjoy it, one thing that I noticed was that it wasn't a lot of Black people in the mid-manager or senior manager position. There was mostly Black and brown people working on the manufacturing floor. And then the other eye opener to me was that we were manufacturing drugs. For example, at that time, we was manufacturing a drug for clinical trials for lupus. And so when I learned more about that particular clinical trial that drug was going to, I learned that there weren't any African-American women involved in that clinical trial. Crazy.
Oh, seriously?
Seriously, and this still goes on today. Yeah. It's partially a racist thing, but it's more of an economic and capitalism type thing. They knew they weren't going to be able to recruit those patients in a timely manner for the timeline they wanted to put the drug into the market, and so they went internationally and recruited women from India. So I would think that would take more time, but that's what they ended up doing. So that got me wanting to change things. And then I also hit a ceiling in my career. I didn't get any further than senior manager. And I just told you I've been in the industry nearly 20 years. I have an undergraduate degree in biology, I have a master's in business, and I have a master's in regulatory science. Regulatory science is the study of putting drugs, food, and medical devices into the commercial market, whether it's in the United States with the FDA, or Japan or China with their version of FDA, or Europe with the EU, or now the UK with Brexit. So that's my story. That's how I got started.
20 years in the industry, 2 master's degrees, and you hit a ceiling. I mean, can I get a high five and a raise of hands or a fist bump from anybody who understands what that's like when you have reached as far as you're going to go and you're clear that where you're working is not going to let you get ahead? And it's not so much as, breaking, quote, the glass ceiling. It's also about feeling fulfilled, about stepping right into more of your power and your purpose for being here. So you made that great decision to go out on your own. Like, how did you know to come up with a business plan? How did you know how to put the parts and pieces together? Did you get into an accelerator program? What happened?
Well, first, during that time when I made the decision to start a company, I went and got that regulatory degree from USC. That's University of Southern California. So that was a 2-year program, and finishing out online because I ended up taking another job back on the East Coast in New Hampshire, of all places.
Hey, right up the street from me.
Yeah. And so then after that, I had a contract job in Philadelphia at Jazz Pharmaceuticals. They didn't extend my contract for similar reasons of hitting that ceiling. So my thing was, okay, well, either I can go get a job or I can take this time to start my company. And so one of the first things I did that very same week or the next week in Philadelphia, there was a Minority Business Week conference. And so I started making connections and meeting people in the startup industry, definitely a whole lot of minorities like myself. The next thing I did in between that time, before that, I had did the Founder Gym program. And so that is a 6-week program where they teach you how to raise money and the different pieces to put together your business. Through my regulatory program, I already knew what departments were what. I worked in various different departments in my career. So I knew that piece of it, but the venture capital thing was very, very foreign to me. And then ironically, through my cousin's law firm who represents my company, the Friedman Law Group in Charlotte, North Carolina, they introduced me to my first, I can't say only investor now, I have some more now, but at the time, my first and only investor. And they've been rocking with me since 2018 to help me grow the business and raise additional funds. To date, we have a $5 million commitment from Black Pearl Global Investments, venture capital in the form of convertible notes. And then through their partners, I think you call them limited partners, as you see, I'm still learning. They have committed an additional $45 million. So our startup cost was $150 million. We are 1/3 of the way there.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So I want folks to take this in. We were talking about big, hairy, audacious ideas. Okay. You hear what she's going to need to start this business, to get this business going. It's a highly capital intensive business, right, Tia?
Right, right. A lot of the majority of the cost is going into building that facility, purchase of equipment, building that facility per FDA regulations, as well as the city and state and county law. So the certain way of the building has to have certain filtration. We have to have highly, highly filtered water. We call it water for injection, or WIFI. Water is so filtered that if you drink it, you will probably be dead in like 15, 20 minutes, because it's going to dehydrate you right away. But these are the types of things that we have to use to make drugs, to make sure that they're safe for humans to take.
Wow. Okay. There's a lot to take in here. And I'm just going to put on pause for just a quick second to say hi to folks and bring up some comments here. And speaking of really big, hairy, audacious ideas, Anna Pereira, you have one of the biggest ever at the wellness universe. Seriously. As she said, it's been like herding cats over the years initially.
I relate to that.
Right. You know, I mean, and so, but she started, I think 2013, 2014, Anna, maybe 2015. I mean, seriously built an amazing platform. I just want to give a quick shout out to this remarkable female founder as well. And Kevin, thank you for that. Thank you for your feedback there. And also, yes, right. Great insights from Tia on really what she has done to build her business. And Brendan, where did you go? There you are, Brendan. So good to see you. And you're in Philly as well. That's awesome. Brendan does a lot of work around entrepreneurship. He's terrific. And we got a hashtag Founder Jim here. Kelly. And Michelle G from Vegas, and our Money Magnet program with Founder Jim. So good, so good. You know, I want to bring up a few things here. And of course, one of our favorite sheroes, right, and female founders is Mandela S.H. Dixon.
Shout out to Mandela.
Yeah, and so she's the founder, everybody, of Founder Jim, because she knew that all these founders out there, especially underrepresented and underserved founders, were not getting the lift that they needed, especially around raising money. And being an educator, trained, degreed educator, as well as a founder of another business, and having worked at Kapoor Capital, a phenomenal venture fund in Silicon Valley, she knew that she needed to set up a real teaching moment to help founders. And so that's what she did. And this is what Tia did that was right. She saw what she wanted to do. She realized she couldn't get there until she, got the master's degree in the regulatory science. So she really built up her credibility and her knowledge base that's a big commitment. Got some more experience that she needed. And then she looked around and said, who can train me for this fundraising part, because of her capital intensive business? This is so important. There are so many tricks to the trade, really, in raising capital, and especially VC money. Why try to figure it out on your own? So that's why she went to Founder Jim's wonderful 6-week funding program that teaches founders how to raise money. And they have an amazing track record, over 43 million they've raised. So I just wanted to throw that out. And of course, this is where Tia and I met, is through Founder Jim. Yeah. And I wanted to do a quick shout out. But so lots of things have to happen. And as a branding person, Tia, I always am curious, how did you come up with your name? Because there's always going to be a story behind the name. You know, a lot of times it tells people what you're doing in the name, but yours is LucasPye BIO. There's got to be a story behind that name.
Yes, they are the maiden names of both my grandmothers. So LucasPye is the maiden name of my maternal grandmother, and Pye is the maiden name of my paternal grandmother. My maternal grandmother has passed a long time ago, back in '92, from cancer. One of my inspirations as well. But my maternal grandmother is still living. I believe she is 89 now, but she's still kicking, she's still driving, still had all her wits about her. She's doing great. She's a retired nurse.
That's terrific. Now, given that your capital needs were so high, let's talk about the funding process a little. So you got your training that you needed to up your game, level up your founder game for raising capital. How did you know where to go? How did you know who to have a conversation with?
From Founder Gym, they kind of help you put a list together of who you want to speak to. But again, I already had one of my investors on board. So me doing that 6-week boot camp really helped get my, my vocabulary and venture capital ready to present and raise more money with her and not embarrass her. Her name is Dr. Shante Williams. She has a book out that's trending in the top 10 on Amazon.com called Black Angels Among Us. So I encourage you to go get it. But I knew I had to have a mix of capital to raise. So to date, I've invested around $40,000 to $50,000 myself. I have a friend, I don't want to say her name. I don't know if I had authority to say her name, but a friend that I work with back at Baxter that's now Takeda in Thousand Oaks, California. Gave me a loan of $10,000 in the form of convertible notes. And then on top of that, I did a crowdfund on Fund Black Founders. I raised $7.6 or $7,600 on that platform. And then again, the bulk of the venture capital money came from Black Pearl Global Investment. Sorry.
All right. And viewers, I will definitely put all the links to Black Angels Among Us, as well as the VC firms, because we need to know who's out there, who's really walking their talk. Yeah, I live in Boston, and it's the home of venture capital.
Yeah.
And we need diversity big time and inclusion big time. If Anna Foster were out there, I'd be waving out and she'd be giving me a fist bump, as for sure on that one. So this is really great. So, but in the meantime, you're raising the high capital because you need it, all right, and the numbers to support what you're doing. But you also still have to prove that you have a business model that's going to have traction.
Exactly. So in between that time, I also went to a Biotech boot camp at the Bio International Conference. I went to that 2 years in a row. So right now we are in the middle of proving our business model. We are a team of 13 with 2 business development contractors. We are currently negotiating our first customer contract. It's been a long road, but we're getting close to hopefully closing that out in the next few weeks. And so we won't be raising any additional money, at least not exclusively or publicly, until around second quarter of next year. The reason for that is my goal to sign at least 3 customers to prove out our business model, so that when we go for the next round of funding, we can actually fundraise for equity, and they can already see that we have customers signed, ready to go.
And let me tell you, investors love that more than anything, everyone. They love that you have some traction, that you can show that it works. Not only that, they will have some preconceived ideas based on what they've seen somebody else do, and they think they know what your customers' problems are. And by having that traction and your customer discovery, you can come back and say, well, actually, this is how we're differentiating our business, because we learned from our customers that we're solving this problem for them.
And that's a good point, Andy. As founders, we receive a lot of advice on what you should do or how you should set up and what you need to do to research your market. Just understand that nobody's an expert at what you do except for you as a founder. So I received a lot of advice. I also traveled doing a 1 million cups pitch. I did a tour myself around Atlanta, Chicago, Indiana, Philly, and somewhere else. But in the middle of that, someone came to me and said, oh, well, how do you know that this is the missing link? Like, did you do your market research? And proceeded to have me apply for some government grant for the research. And I ignored it because that's not the way my industry works. This is not a tech or app. I don't have a direct product. I'm actually making drugs, or will be making drugs for the human clinical trials in the commercial market. The way that I knew what my industry needed is because I've been working in my industry for 20 years. And I've seen everything there is to see as far as what the missing link is, because we're one of the last industries, number one, to even digitize. So that was the number one thing I know I need to do. The other thing is everybody's very mediocre. They've gotten very, very lazy. And so that is what's preventing new drugs getting into the market, and for patients to have access to them, that they needed somebody who's going to do things the right way, actually keep their word, and keep the focus on getting the drugs to the patients that need them, not what's my revenue and my bottom line. And okay, we're not going to put this out yet because there's not a lot of patients that need this drug. There's more that need this particular drug.
Right.
So that's my thought process. But the bottom line is just understand that you're the expert of your business.
Absolutely. And it's your job to, of course, you see it on the The Voice and other places when they take advice, but you bring it back to your business and you're there to say, thank you for sharing and bring them out of the weeds and back into your vision and where you want them to go and what you want them to see and know about your business. But more importantly, what you're sharing with investors is how you think. And by coming back and certainly, politely and respectfully acknowledging what they said, you have to also show that this is how you're thinking about your business, because that's what they're going to invest in you and your ability to execute and implement, but also how are you processing information as it comes in? So answering those questions to investors is very important. Right, Tia?
Absolutely.
So
go ahead.
No, I'm thinking about your customers right now, because again, 20 years in the industry and your understanding about the customer who is going to use you. Now, I had a food manufacturing business, which is just compared to what you're doing. But I know that for me, I couldn't wait to find a good co-packer, a co-manufacturer, right? I don't understand. How does that work in the biotech and biopharmaceutical industry? Who's coming up with this idea in a research lab that they would then want to outsource it to LucasPye BIO?
Good question. So everybody knows about COVID-19, so I'll use that as an example. You have these research R&D firms, research discovery firms, who are discovering new drugs or repurposing drugs for the COVID-19 market. And so what happens is after they discover it and it looks like it's going to work, then the next stage is to develop it and get it to the point to see, one, is it going to be safe to test in animals? Does it actually work in animals? Two, is the process actually scalable? Meaning, can I actually get this drug product out to the patients in a somewhat cost-effective manner? And then three, once you do that, the next step is to ask permission from the federal government to test it in human clinical trials. There are 3 phases of human clinical trials. So you have phase 1 to test the safety in humans. Phase 2 tests the safety and the efficacy of it, meaning does the drug actually work? And then phase 3 tests those same 2 things, but in addition to that, making sure that you have the precise amount, the precise dosage correct for human patients. And sometimes it may be divided between adults and children, but that is the phase that you figure that out. So LucasPye BIO is a medicine manufacturer. Our customers are research and development firms that include startups that you have at your co-working spaces with wet labs. And it also includes small biotech companies that wish to remain virtual and save on costs and not build their facility. Someone like us would be very, very advantageous to a startup company that's doing research and development and biologics, because now you don't have to raise so much capital to build your own facility. Right. It's a lot more cost effective to pay someone, similar to what Andy said, a co-packer, to do the manufacturing on your behalf, label it, get it ready, and then you take it back and make sure that it gets to the respective distributors, i.e. in my situation, the patient.
I love that something fierce. It does, founders, it saves so much time. Tia's gone through all the effort of raising the capital, making sure the right facility is in place, the right people are in place to do the job. And, basically, the ability for the semi-trucks to come in, pick it up, or whatever size vehicle, right, to get it to the hospital at the end of the day or to the big box store, the CVS. Yes, Tia? Will you be able to do that?
Most of these drugs are intravenous drugs. These are things that treat things like hepatitis, autoimmune drugs, cancer. So most of them are not over the counter or will be prescribed by a physician. Most of them will be given to the patient from the physician. Okay,
so when you're done, sorry, I love going deep into manufacturing, everybody. I'm so sorry.
Go ahead.
So when you're done meeting the order, then the order goes back to the company and they get it to the end user?
Yeah, you have it 2 ways. Either they will ask us and give us the address to ship it to whoever's going to be distributing it, we have, or we ship it back to them and they take care of it from there. And our shipping process, it has to be most of the time temperature controlled. So you have to watch who you hire to do that. But ironically, FedEx gets a lot of business out of the biotech company, despite the liabilities that come with that and how often they mess up and drugs have to be thrown out through their system. But there are some good people out there. One of our partners is called Your Way Transport. They're a little outside of Philadelphia. Everything's temperature controlled. They even have apps for us as their customer or our customers to follow the transportation of that drug to its destination to make sure that it maintains its temperature and quality.
I love that. That's a business that they saw a problem. They saw, or someone knew that FedEx was not delivering in a meaningful way. So they found a way to do it for them. You know, this is how we come up with our ideas, founders. Amazing. So now I'm going to go deep again, because cost of goods sold, everybody, is a really important part of your business model. Really understanding what's it going to cost to produce this, and how are you going to make money? So where are you in that stage, Tia?
So currently the market price is $2.5 million for a traditional batch of biologics drugs. We've gotten that price down to $2.1 million. I would like to get it lower as we recruit more customers. When it comes down to a dosage, these things are very expensive. So I'm pretty sure y'all been hearing a lot about viral vector drugs, gene vector drugs. Some of those drugs are in the tens of thousands, and some of them are as cheap, which is not cheap, but are as cheap as around $1,700, $1,800, $2,000 per a dose. But that can be expensive, because most times if you have a chronic illness, you're going to take multiple doses throughout the week or multiple doses throughout the month. And so it can be very, very expensive. These are not your Tylenol for $24.99.
No. And then, of course, I'm thinking the responsibility, right, of doing this and delivering and not making mistakes. And because whenever you're in manufacturing, folks, you have to have a percentage for waste because things end up on the floor, thrown out, all of that. That's a lot to bring in. And also, when you're starting out like this and something so important, and your ability to deliver is critical, the right dose, the right everything. How do you build trust and faith in your ability, in LucasPye's ability to deliver? And this is a marketing thing, folks. Okay, so this is a marketing question.
So right now, like I said, we're one of the oldest industries that has failed to digitize our system or have any control of our supply chain, meaning the raw materials and the equipment that comes in from vendors for us to actually manufacture the drug product. So for us to get ahead as a new kid on the block, we have some proprietary mobile and web applications. One is called the Bioprocess Tracker, in which our customers can follow the manufacturing process of their drug product at a super high level. But they know where it is pretty much every minute of the day, every day of the month as we're going through the process. On that same application, it sends real-time invoicing for them to see the cost of their raw materials and their consumable equipment and pay that real time. On the back end, we have another application called Biosupply Tracker. And this is the one that's going to give us a little bit better control on our supply chain with our vendors. What it does is request real time what things that we need to be restocked into our warehouse system. So things like bioreactor bags, tubing, all the stuff that we use, right? And as we send that request off for those things to be restocked, it also sends payment real time for those things as well. That vendor is able to see it. They're able to pull it from their warehouse right away, and then they understand how it needs to be packaged and labeled so that when we receive it, we understand what it is, where it goes, and for what particular customer that particular package is assigned to for us to finish their drug making process.
Oh my gosh, there are so many parts and pieces. Okay, so 20 years in the industry, 2 master's degrees, 1 in business, 1 in the science area that she needs to specialize in, which she's needed in order for Tia to succeed and be at this level of understanding of her industry. No wonder you've raised so much money already. I want to say hi to a few folks, and I'm honestly a little concerned that I'm not seeing some of my Facebook profile folks who may be tuning in on my personal Facebook page, but it's not showing up, your questions or comments or anything right here. So I'm going to go ahead and put the YouTube link in right here. It was my first time using the StreamYard platform on Facebook. And so I don't think it's working as far as questions coming up. Natalia, if you could go over and check and see if there's any problems, just hop up to Ande Advice on YouTube or over to LinkedIn, Ande Lyons on LinkedIn, so that in case you're missing. And I say that, Tia, because I have a great fan group on Facebook.
No,
and I'm not seeing my usual peeps here today. So I have a little worried. And we're getting so much great feedback on the conversation. Great to see you, Brendan. And we have Victoria.
Hey, Vicky, I know who that is. Family member. I wish they put their name up, Cousin 38, but I know that's a family member for sure.
And Omar and Candace. I think, Candace, you might be caught up now because I think Tia went into more details about LucasPye to answer that great question. And okay, so here's April. Good to see you, April. One of the people I always count on seeing. And, oh, is this the doctor that you were talking about, Dr. Brandy? I don't know if that was the person you were talking about, the angels among us or not. But hi, Rebecca.
Dr. Shante Williams.
Oh, Shante Williams. Okay, thank you. And then we have Kiva Johnson.
Hi, Kiva.
I don't know if you know.
Girlfriend. So everybody say hi.
All right. Hi. Yay. Yeah. Tia's doing an amazing job. I mean, you can really, feel her sense of authority. And again, as a founder, folks, yay, Candace, glad to hear that. As a founder, you really need to step into your authority, even if you are kind of shaking in your boots initially, because it's all new to you. Mm-hmm. We still have to, show the face of someone who's very confident. And you do get more confident, right, Tia?
Yeah, you get more confidence over time. If you have trouble with that, 1 million cups will help you get very confident. They're going to hold back with their feedback on what you need to change, improve, and how you need to say and stand. That is through the Kaufman Foundation. So they're headquartered in Kansas City, Missouri. But it's a good way. They have local chapters all around. So it's no cost to you. You just got to sign up and do it.
All right. So I want to get the link for that from you and put that in the show notes. So everybody, it's the Kaufman Institute, and they're devoted to entrepreneurship. And what did they do for you, Tia?
It helps you learn how to present, what information to present. Wow. That's pretty much it. And you're presenting to people that are investors, all types of stuff. So I'm getting the link for you here now.
Oh, good. You can put it in the private chat, and then I'll throw it out to everybody. And hello. I don't know if that's Gervan or Jervan Williams.
That's Gervan. That is a colleague at LucasPye BIO and Latham Consulting Group. So we work together all the time.
Excellent. And this person is saying, great interview. And
Erica, my new investors, I'll say. So how you doing, Erica?
Good. And Chantal. Oh, thank you, everybody, for swinging by. And I'm just going to go ahead and grab that link. And also, oh, yes, 1 million cups, of course. Oh, my gosh, they're terrific. Okay, everybody, here's the link so that you can get the feedback you need for your business. And how much do we love Anthony?
We love Anthony. What's going on, Anthony? Fellow founder, gym mate.
Yes, and everybody follow Anthony wherever he glows. He's amazing. On Twitter, especially, my favorite bar. He really shares incredible wisdom and advice. So that's great. All right, back to Tia and my questions, because, I'm a very curious person and I like to know. And we all learn from other founders' journeys and how they figured things out. So one of the things that at the end of the day, you need to know is how you're going to make money. So we talked about the cost of goods sold and understanding that and the margins. So it's basically your business revenue model is?
We have 7 streams of revenue for LucasPye BIO. One obviously is to manufacture the drug. However, we do have 2 companies that we work in collaboration with. One is the Jefferson Institute of Bioprocessing in Philadelphia, and the other one is Celtheon Corporation in San Francisco. So Celtheon does cell line development, which is required to enter my facility. And Jefferson Institute for Bioprocessing does what we call process development services. So this is actually creating a process, creating a cell line with Celtheon, and making sure that it's actually fit for manufacturing in my facility. So anytime we send a customer through that or initiate a customer's project, we make money through that. Right now, we're making money through that platform because it takes around about the earliest, maybe 6 to 8 months, but it really takes almost more of an 8 month to a year and a half sometimes to get that molecule fit for manufacturing so that we can manufacture on a mass scale and that patients have access to it. The next thing we make money from is our proprietary apps. We'll be making money from recycling the equipment that we use. Most of it is plastic. We also make money from ancillary services. So we'll be handling or managing people's clinical trial services. We'll be doing regulatory filing. So that is filing for licensing with FDA or whatever regulatory agency it is to be able to sell your product in the commercial market. We'll also be making money from, what's the last? Oh, there are things that you have to do once the drug is commercialized. So a lot of companies don't know about that. So there are fees that you have to pay annually to FDA for every year that one particular product is on the market. There also may be some post-marketing studies. So this means once the drug is commercialized, the FDA may mandate that you had to do additional clinical trials just to monitor for maybe some adverse events or something went wrong with previous patients in a clinical trial that they want to make sure that is not occurring or is not occurring as frequently once the drug becomes available in the commercial market. So we're making money off all that good stuff.
I love that because, you know, you need all those streams, folks, because clients or customers are going to drop off in different areas. You can't count on them. That level of diversification for revenue is amazing. You know, we'll have all the show notes for any other investors who'd like to jump in and help LucasPye, because clearly we have a winner on our hands.
Thank you.
So now we've gotten into the nuts and bolts and all the details of your business model, but let's shift now to the things we need to know about the founder's mind and mindset to help us stay in the game. And there's lots of times that we struggle, folks, with being a founder, and we can sit there and question like, what was I thinking? You know, why bother? Why me? Why do I think that I could possibly ever be a leader of something so big and amazing? What advice do you have, Tia, to help founders overcome their concerns, their fear of being an imposter, right? And also their fears of being able to build a business? What advice can you share with folks?
One of the most important things outside of making money is that you have to be strong mentally and physically. Again, I think I said earlier that people are going to come after you. They're going to question your credibility. They're going to question your ability. They're going to question even why you even exist to even start this business in the first place. And so you have to learn to be very, very confident, but in the background, taking that time for self-care, taking that time to educate yourself to make you more of an expert than what you already are. And then most importantly, the things that you need to remember is to never give up on your divine purpose in life. Never give in to the naysayers or the haters. There are, you know, tons of naysayers and hater aerosols, I like to call them, that are going to constantly be sprayed your way. And you got to learn how to block that out. And then last but not least, never compromise on your mission for your company or your professional aspirations. Again, people are going to come to you with tons of advice on what you should do and how you should do it. This is what you need to know. Most of the people that come at you with these ancillary things, like maybe you should do it this way, or one of the feedback I got was LucasPye BIO doesn't sound like a scientific name. I need to shorten it or rename it. And that was at my first 1 Million Cup pitch competition. As an expert, I knew that I needed to ignore that because historically, all of your big pharma companies are named after family names. Merck is a family name. Pfizer is a family name. Johnson & Johnson. How many Johnsons y'all know? Right. So these are the things that you got to build up, have some thick skin, and then never compromise. I had someone tell me I need to do my business model differently for whatever reason that I need to make a pivot. I knew I didn't need to do that. Plus, COVID-19 has proven that I don't need to do that. Unfortunately, this has been a good circumstance for us, unfortunately, to be able to attract customers and prove out our business model as we're recruiting customers and going through that process. So again, never give up on your divine purpose. Don't give in to the naysayers or the haters. Do not compromise the mission for your company and professional aspirations. You chose to start this business for a reason. You are working this business for a reason. And you know that there's more than likely a social impact that you're after. And that's the most important thing outside of the money that you generate for yourself and your stakeholders and investors.
Okay, everybody. I have like tears and I got goosebumps. Phenomenal advice, Tia. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm sure everybody's taking it in. Yes. Thank you, Candace. I want to see some high fives and some claps here in the thread. I mean, those were some serious nuggets. Let us know how it's impacting you. And I want to touch on that, the social impact. That feels to me that it's been a core part of your vision. You know, the mission is how the world looks today. The vision is how it's going to look after you change it. Share with folks LucasPye's vision and what you're doing to make things better.
Our vision, to give you some background, if you're familiar with the U.S. steel industry, and these are these Rust Belt cities we talk about with Philadelphia, Boston, Chicago, Gary, Indiana is where I was born at, Kansas City, St. Louis, all these type towns that recruited a lot of African Americans once slavery ended to enter industry work out of the fields. And so my grandfather moved from Mississippi, and his brothers too. They moved from Mississippi to St. Louis, and most of them settled down in Gary, Indiana, to the point where my uncle built the house that my mother was raised in. I just learned that recently. But the whole point is, with them working at the steel mill, they were able to attain the American dream. They had a house. They would have a new car every year. They went on family vacations. College was paid for, all things of these nature. And so then you come down to our generation, which was good. They want to instill in their kids, our parents, not to work a blue collar job, but to get a white collar job so they can get paid more and have more time for family, things of that nature. But when that happened, I think they kind of got away from us for a little bit. Not all African Americans were able to work those white collar jobs and become professionals, such as doctors, lawyers, business people. More than likely, these business people, the same thing that's going on in the biotech world today. They weren't able to get off the shop floor. They weren't able to get off the retail floor. So something like, or what we're doing for LucasPye BIO, we are guaranteeing and making a commitment to give you, whether you have a degree or not, a minimum of $50,000 per year. We have all the benefits in place, including child care, medical care, dental care, HSA, all those good things, even student loan repayment programs. So this is not just giving you money to go to school, but this is saying, okay, you worked so hard, you got this bachelor's degree or whatever degree that you've attained at that point, and we're going to help you pay some of that money back in exchange for a commitment for you to work with us, not for us, for a number of years. So that's why this workforce development or high quality, high paying jobs item is so important to us, because we know that we can really change, particularly the communities of people of color, particularly African Americans, to be able to generate wealth and get out of the hole that we've were forced to dig ourselves into and turn that around for the next generation.
Oh my gosh. See, and again, this is an impact investment. So investors out there, if you want to invest in a company that's an impact company, this is what Tia is about. And for those of you founders who are watching, having this underlying vision, it's a mission to make the change, but the vision of how it will look when she's done with it is very, very powerful and very important. Having a purpose behind your business like this, I mean, seriously, Tia, I don't know why more businesses don't have this as an underlying purpose and mission, to provide great jobs for folks, because the article just came out about all the billionaires. They did it off the backs of the hardworking people that they hardly pay.
Yep.
Yeah. And so that's the kind of culture that absolutely has to stop. And we need to be able to bring good paying jobs to our communities, especially the disenfranchised communities. So this is wonderful. Thank you for sharing that. Mm-hmm. And I just want to, oh, here we go. Just grab this comment here. Yes. Living wages. Come on. People say, I've heard I want to go back to the 50s. Really? Where, one person in the family could feed, 4 kids and send them all to college.
Right.
90% tax bracket. Okay. But no, today is the time. Today is the time. Thank you, Cynthia.
Cynthia.
And Victoria. Great. Thank you so much for that. I just want to just grab this image and share it with folks so that they understand a part of your vision here.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Look at that. That's the facility that will be built to do this work. Okay. Think about the time and the effort and the thought that went into this, because it has to co-process and co-manufacture. That's amazing. That's, again, a big, hairy, audacious vision. So an idea. So Tia, you've been at this for how long?
2 years on paper, but officially I've been at this since probably around 2014.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
But you stepped into the entrepreneurial role.
Yep, within the last years, I've been doing it full time since October.
Yeah. So how has it served you? Because folks watching, there is no better personal development program out there than becoming a founder. Because as much as I've touted the education that Tia has gotten, that she went out and earned and worked hard at, there's nothing that prepares you for stepping into this role. And I mean, she could go off and do another business. And yes, she would take with her some great things she learned about this business, but the next business has its own squirrely things. These businesses do not come with instructions.
Yeah, I already have a second business right along LucasPye BIO called Heliplex. So it's the first commercial life science co-working space for biotech companies and life science startups.
Okay, see, and that's so typical of founders, right? They've got a queue. Business 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's wonderful. How has entrepreneurship served you so far, both professionally and personally?
It's definitely given me thick skin. It keeps you on your toes, so you're always learning. There's never a time where you feel like you just got it all or understand it all. Somebody's going to ask you that question that's going to force you to go back and look at some things or figure it out, whether it's in your business model, or whether it's within yourself personally. For me, it's been a great experience. There's definitely been times where it's like, why am I doing this? I should give me a job. I've definitely done that twice, attempted to go back and get a job. But my accountability crew, so my girlfriend and family and my investors and everybody else and my tight-knit crew keep me accountable on that and helps me stay focused and keep going forward. And then I also read a lot. And then I'm spiritual, so I watch my church online in LA, for my Cali folks. I still remain active in my church and watch the programs and just tunnel vision. That's it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the staying focused. And in your industry, it's year after year after year, because it has a long cycle to it. So it's amazing. Yes, agree. She's on fire, Gina.
What's up, Gina? Sister, one and only.
So good. Okay, everybody, have we had an amazing experience with Tia? Seriously, Tia, you are a fountain of information. You have gone deep on your business, which we are all so grateful for, because it helps us all, especially those who are working on such a, almost seems impossible, big, hairy, audacious idea. I mean, you look at someone creating an app, you're like, yeah, great. MVP, prove it, put it out there. What's the overhead? What you're doing, and that's not to discredit it or marginalize it. A business is a business, but I don't think many people would just jump in and do what you're doing. And you are uniquely qualified to do this. You showed us today during our conversation, and I hope you share this with other folks, how uniquely qualified you are. And I want other founders to see that level of uniqueness, because that's what you also are bringing to your business, why you're uniquely qualified to be doing what you're doing. Okay. So stay focused, keep that tunnel vision. Don't be worried about what the competition is doing. Focus on your business. Tia, the Startup Life community loves to open doors and add wind to folks' lives. How can we serve you and LucasPye BIO and whatever it is that you're doing? Please let us know.
Yes, spread the word about LucasPye BIO as our name. Spread the word to your friends that may be science and geek nerds and developing things at their local universities and colleges, or a co-working space like biolabs. And let us know that we're here. Our target audience is the startup life science companies to help them get to the commercial market, including medical devices. So I'm looking forward to working with the next new school in this generation of medicine, and breaking barriers and crushing prices to make things more affordable and accessible to the patients that need it.
Oh my gosh, right there, folks. I will have all the links to Tia in the show notes for anybody who is watching now. I'm going to pop these links right in. Those of you on YouTube will not be able to see them, so you're just going to have to see the show notes that I put in when I post them after it gets archived on YouTube. All of these links will be in there. So connect on LinkedIn with Tia and find out more about what she's doing. A very available person. And anybody who is in the science industry and the biotech and biopharmaceutical industry, you want to connect with somebody who clearly is forging away. This woman is the person for you. Okay, I'm just going to do a little show wrap up, and then we'll have some final thoughts, everybody. I'm seriously grateful that you are all here and that you took time out of your really busy schedules to be committed to your startup, because we all learned from Tia today on so many levels. And I mean, just think about the 4 pieces of advice that she gave for being an outstanding founder. And those watching the archive, hi, thank you so much for tuning in. And everybody, what other topics would you like to learn more about to make your startup journey easier? Do you want some cash flow, talent acquisition, marketing? Do you have a favorite expert you'd like me to interview on the Startup Live show, or a favorite founder for our Fab Founder Friday show? Please pop your thoughts and ideas into the comment section. I'll follow up with you. And of course, if you have any questions for Tia or me and would like to keep the conversation going, put them right there in the comment threads. And to stay connected and keep your founder game moving forward, I invite you to let's see. I'm just going to pull up the right thing. There it is. Let's stick together. That's right. It's my Andelicious newsletter. And it's, monthly. I send out some great bite-sized pieces of information to help keep you motivated and focused and learning and growing as a founder. And the Startup Live Show meetup group. This link, if you go to this meetup group, you'll be alerted every time I post a new episode here and a new featured founder or a new Wise Up Wednesday. You'll find it there. So it's a great way to be alerted every time I've got a new event happening. Also, are you struggling alone? Because look, you can eventually figure it out as a founder, but why waste all that time? Why waste all that money? Please reach out to me. Schedule a 15-minute free conversation. I know I can help you, whether it's a startup strategy session to make sure that you're on the right path and being held accountable, or a funding strategy session. I've raised millions in VC, thousands in angel funds, and I am a co-host of a monthly pitch event here in Boston. So I got the pitch covered. So be sure to reach out to me and schedule that call. The link will be in the show notes. I am so excited to learn more about you and your business. As you can see, poor Tia, I mean, she couldn't get away with anything today. I kept drilling down. What about this? What about that? So I'll do that with you too. And we'll go deep into your business. Next up on the Startup Life Show, it's Wise Up Wednesday, where we learn and have an expert come and share their brilliance with us. And on Wednesday, July 29th at 1 p.m., we're chatting with Rob Balasabas. Now, Rob is an expert video marketing creator and strategist, and he's the brand evangelist for TubeBuddy. And that's a YouTube video optimization and channel management tool that helps you soar on YouTube. Hello, the second largest search engine out there. And he's going to be sharing his best tips and advice, and also how to use TubeBuddy, which we all need. I don't care. You've got to be doing video. If you have a video channel, this is for you. And again, hop off onto the meetup group to learn more about that. All right, let me bring Tia back in. Oh, I got to go get our overlay here. I tell you, hosting, there's so much responsibility here. Yay. And any last thoughts? I'm looking at, here's a lovely comment from Candace again. Yay. And Natalia. Thank you, Natalia, for all you do for me. She's been an intern from the Hult International School of Business here in Boston. She's been helping me out for a few months as an internship. It's been so wonderful. And then Cynthia wants to know, how can I get some LucasPye BIO swag?
We just ended our crowdfund campaign. So those of you waiting on your prize, stuff is delayed due to COVID. We literally just got the wristbands. The face mask is supposed to have been here 2 weeks ago. It's not getting here until about the 3rd week of August. So we will be doing a merch store on the website. I was supposed to do it on this round of revisions, but we got caught up in other stuff that we need to do. But it is coming soon.
Oh, well, I want some too. Absolutely. I'll be hopping on there and getting that. Any last thoughts for our viewers and our audience today, Tia?
Don't get discouraged. Everybody is going through delays and receiving money, or delays in doing whatever they're doing for their business. So just stay focused, work through it, and then most importantly, do some self-care to help keep you motivated and focused.
I love that. And folks, thanks again for tuning in. Stay focused, stay strong, and remember, seriously, you've got this. Cheers, everyone. Mwah.
Bye.